have finally our recording of the video for how to actually use the videos in your note-taking. So this is a note-taking how-to. What I have is just one of our 9-minute long videos, so a medium-length video on controlling diseases. So the idea with this, remember, is that it should take you twice as long to actually take the notes as it does for the video to actually go. So we're aiming for something around 18 minutes long here. So we hit play on the video.
We're talking about basically how humanity is at the mercy of these infectious diseases. We talked very little about herd immunity and some of the benefits there. How do we actually control these diseases? So obviously, like right now, not many of you will be sick, or if you are, it'll be something reasonably minor, and it certainly won't be a pandemic or an epidemic. Well, let's hope. So the question then is, how are we actually controlling these diseases? Because obviously we are, particularly if we look at Australia. In other countries, in other parts of the world, maybe not so much. But particularly in Australia, we are absolutely controlling disease. How? So technology is the first thing. Technology improving has increased our ability to understand how diseases spread. And this is what's truly ridiculous. Something that happened hundreds of years ago, the Black Death. We know more about it now than they did then. Far more about it. And I'm not just talking about Black Plague as in the actual disease that caused the Black Plague, or the pathogen. Obviously, we know more about that. I'm talking about how it spread. The actual movement of the epidemic, we know far more about how it spread and what actually controlled that spread than they did then, even though they were experiencing it.
So the first bit there is that what we're looking at is our first note. And you see, like, I've summarized all of the different things that I've said there into something that is really quite concise. Technology has given us an understanding of diseases. Now there's a whole bunch more to that, but we're note-taking. You're not expanding on every single point. The idea is to get as much information down as quickly as possible.
Down to our technology. Our ability to control the spread of disease falls into 4 broad categories. Controlling the vectors, killing the pathogens directly, quarantining infected individuals, and then our own immune system. So control of vectors, many diseases that we have a risk of becoming epidemic.
So I need to go back a little bit there because I missed the bit, so we'll just do a quick rewind. And what we've got is, it falls into 4 categories, which is controlling vectors, we've got killing pathogens, quarantine, and our immunity. So those are our
infected individuals, and then our own immune system. So control of vectors, many diseases that we have a risk of becoming epidemics are carried by vectors. Cholera, malaria, Zika virus. So elimination of the vector will reduce the risk of human disease because it removes the main mode of transmission. If somebody's got malaria, remember they sneeze on you, you're not likely to get the malaria virus. But if you live with them and you get exposed to the same mosquitoes, then you have a risk. So we kill the vector. Spray bugs. We can control vector populations by improving sanitation. Mosquitoes. Where do they breed? Stagnant pools of water. So, get rid of the pools of water. We can use barriers. Surround our buildings with giant nets. Not practical, but plausible. We can use traps. We can use insecticides. We can introduce predators for the vector. Bit of biocontrol. The insecticide ones. I want to spend a little bit of time on that. Countries that have a high risk of malaria place controlling malaria above other health problems. DDT, it's an insecticide, was used.
So again, we have just a really quick summary of what was just gone through. So removal of vectors reduces the risk of transmission. If a virus requires a vector, we ditch the vector and we don't get transmission, or at least not as much. How can we do that? Well, pesticides will help, sanitation will help, biocontrol were the three examples
Used
that I
all
gave.
over the world to control mosquito populations until we started discovering that it had some pretty nasty effects on other animals, including ourselves. Still used in large parts of Africa and other countries. Hopefully what they did, they try to spray in areas where there is a limited amount of human and animal interaction, but the reality is that we're always going to run into some of it. Why? Well, malaria, we know, kills people, and we know it does a really good job of it. DDT, we know it kills people, but it doesn't kill as many people as malaria. So we have to find these balances. Again, it's this relationship between what's actually happening, what's the science, what's the development, what's the influence, and government policy. In Western countries, in developed countries like Australia, we have the luxury of making the choice not to use DDT. We can use more expensive insecticides if we have to. Or we can just say, well, it doesn't really matter because we've got a medical facility, we've got resources where we can actually treat malaria incredibly effectively. Other countries don't have that benefit, they don't have that ability, they have to make a choice. And it's a crap choice, it's a choice that's hard. But it's a choice that means that less people die from malaria. And so it's a check in the box. So we can control the vectors. The other option is that we can kill off the pathogen. So many diseases, the living pathogen is the cause of disease. So killing it, we reduce the risk of disease. If it's not there, it can't be transmitted. It's there, no transmission. So we can use antibiotics, antiseptics, disinfectants. All treatments are used to reduce the number of live pathogens in or on the body or on surfaces in our environment. Now, some of those are problematic. Antibiotics, I'm hoping by now you've gotten the idea that the widespread use of antibiotics, while it has been revolutionary in our ability to not die, it has also produced a problem where bacteria are resistant to it.
So again, you can see there's a lot of additional information in the videos, and it is important information for your knowledge, for your understanding, but that's the deepening part of it. Your note-taking during the videos should not be about getting down every single tiny piece of information. The videos are already that resource. If you're thinking, oh, there was something that Mr. Murray said about killing pathogens, they mentioned something about antibiotics and how they're not exactly brilliant, then make that link in the video. Don't waste your time writing it all down. It's already there. You're not going to remember absolutely everything that you have written down. But if you write down your notes and they're short and they're sharp and they're punchy, you're more likely to, as you're going through them, you're more likely to recall those. The other thing as well is that you can make little notes about things. So you could, for example, in a different color or in the same color, you could make a note here about antibiotics, that they perhaps are. So you could just say something about resistance. Just alongside it so that it's a trigger, so that it's something that helps you continue on.
We have to get cleverer, we have to get fancier, we have to look at more novel, more new ways. But there are other things. So you can put things in a dishwasher, you can run high temperature water over them, 65 degrees, and that will kill 99.9% of bacteria. You can get an Ajax spraying white stuff, spraying on your plastic chopping boards, wipe it down, 99.9% of bacteria are dead. If you're in surgery, take your surgical implements, your scalpels, your forceps, all of those sorts of things, scrub all of the chunks of flesh off, stick them in an autoclave, close the door, gets up to 114 degrees Celsius at a relatively high pressure, kills not just the living bacteria, or not just the active bacteria, but also the spores, which are the nasty things that is very difficult to get off of stainless steel. So we can kill the pathogens directly. We can quarantine infected individuals. So if a particular population is infected, we can isolate them. Epidemiologists, people who study epidemics, use quarantining to control the movements of populations both out of and into infected areas. There are significant ethical concerns about quarantining populations, though. you guys might be aware of this. A few years ago, Barnaby Joyce denied or got very cross with Johnny Depp and I think her name is Amber Heard because they didn't declare their dogs properly. Their dogs weren't quarantined properly and they could have brought anything in with them. Who knows? I mean, Johnny Depp is a reasonable, upstanding gentleman, I'm sure, and so is Amber Heard. But their dogs could be not particularly well animals. And so this might affect, particularly, because let's be honest, the majority of the time our governments care about how much money they're able to make, and so they might have brought a disease in that's going to affect one of our primary industries, perhaps our cattle industry or one of our other farming industries. There's another situation quite a few years ago, you guys will almost certainly not remember this, where a footballer came from London over to play for Adelaide United, and he on the way got swine flu and was isolated, was quarantined for like 3 months. Wasn't particularly good for Adelaide United, but it turned out he wasn't a very good player anyway, so it made no real difference. But quarantine is a very useful tool. Again, separate the person, no exposure for other people, other uninfected people, and so we don't have transmission, therefore we have no disease, and therefore we have no problem. Obviously there are some ethical problems. If you're quarantining somebody and they're likely to die, if you're not able to treat them because of the quarantine, where do your priorities lie? It's a difficult thing. And then lastly, our own immunity. Our own immune system defends our bodies remarkably well from pathogenic organisms.
Okay, so we're coming to the end of this video. Rather than continue on, we've only got a minute or so left, and I think I've illustrated the point here of how we can substitute, how we can simplify, how we can reduce the amount of information in the videos. Now that doesn't mean that all of the stuff in the videos, that not all of it is important. It's that you need to focus on what are the specific things. I'm not expecting that in a 10-minute video that you write down every single little thing that I say. What I'm expecting is that you take sufficient notes with additional little things, like I've got that bit in purple there about no transmission, therefore no infection. That was something that was mentioned before with the pathogens as well. And it's probably something that we could consider as important when we're looking at killing of the vectors. No transmission, no infection. So that's a theme that's running through. So what you need to be able to do while you're looking at these videos is actually take into account what are the critical bits of information. Now sometimes that's going to be obvious, sometimes it's going to be something that is clear, like the transmission and infection link. Other times it might not be things that are quite as obvious. And those are where the questions need to come out. What do I actually need to know here? You need to come to me, ask me those sorts of questions. So we've got to the end of this video now. We've only got a bit less than a minute left on this particular video. Notice at the start that the image that you're going to see on yours is probably not particularly good, but I have checked that you can actually read the notes that I've written down. The notes themselves are not important. It's more that illustration of how we can simplify things and what exactly are we actually needing to get down for each of these videos. Okay, thanks, Year 11s.